There is no need to be worried about the guys that left, because it looks like these young studs are ready to take over. Dallas still stinks. Yo, but the way I kick Dingbat here, so the young guys are doing everything that you could possibly expect at this point of training camp. And it's a good thing. However, there are no pads, there are no hitting, there is no game yet, so we've got to kind of wait. And I think Tuesday is the day the pads come out for the first time. Now, the Eagles, they will be off tomorrow on Sunday. This video may be out Sunday morning, but they won't be practicing on Sunday. However, as far as the practice went on Saturday, this is what we had. Eagles practice report. Will not practice. Jalen Carter shoulder. Limited. Jihaad Campbell. Kenyon Green goes from not practicing to limited. And then Cam Jurgens back. We'll see when Jalen Carter comes back. Will he come back on the day they put pads, or will they wait until after the first pads practice to bring him back? That's going to be the question. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest story that came out of day 3, in my opinion, well, there were a few things. The number one thing is Jihaad Campbell. He is flashing big time. He is flashing to the point where he is now getting first team reps. And Zach Berman even said at one point that he's on pace to start at linebacker September 4th versus the Dallas Cowboys. He is just too good. Now, let me say this. People think that because, Jihaad Campbell is getting first team reps, that this is somehow bad, in terms of that means Trotter is not that good. Trotter is a bust. Trotter can't do this. Trotter can't do that. I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. can be a very quality starter in the NFL. However, when you see and hear about the talent, the explosion, the size, the strength, the speed of Jihaad Campbell, it becomes very apparent that it's really hard to keep him off the field. So I can't look at it and go, Jeremiah Trotter, he's not good. It's not always where, okay, one guy's good, the other guy must be bad. This guy's good, the other guy must be bad. No, we've got several guys at linebacker that I think can play. And it's going to be interesting to see when Nakobe Dean comes back. But right now, the Eagles are the deepest I think they have been at the linebacking position, in forever, okay? So Jihaad Campbell, he looks like he's on pace to start. Now, we'll see what he does in preseason, see if he plays, but he is getting first team reps. And I think that's a very good thing. Also, if you look at Andrew Mukuba, he is also working in on the first team as well. Now, Sidney Brown got the start at safety on Saturday, but Mukuba continues to get snaps with the first team. I think that if you base things off last year and you look at some of the young guys like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean when he was able to practice, which wasn't early in camp, but when you look at some of the young guys, they did not start getting first team reps the first few days of practice. I think Quinyon, it took at least 2 weeks, and then he started to get worked in there, and then he wound up winning the job. So I look at Mukuba, I look at Jihaad Campbell, and I say they're ahead of schedule. They're ahead of schedule, and they possibly could really start. So the way I see with this on defenses, we've got options at linebacker. Linebacker looks like, even with Dean out for a while, we're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. And I have hope that Mukuba is going to be able to play that starting job. Now, one cause for concern, and I shouldn't say concern, it's probably too early to say it's a concern. But one thing to watch is Adoree Jackson started at cornerback again today. He started day 2 at camp, and then he started day 4 of camp. Remember, day 3 was a closed walkthrough. We don't know really how they were doing anything like that. But we've got to watch closely next week, Monday, Tuesday. Let's see if Adoree Jackson continues to get first team reps at cornerback. To me, if it continues to stack up, then obviously he's ahead of Ringo in the depth chart, and that could be an issue for the Eagles. We will have to definitely watch. Also, on the defensive side of the ball, man, what we're seeing from the defensive line, and here's the thing, it's very hard to judge the defensive line, honestly, because they're not in pads, they're not hitting, okay? If they get pressure, any pressure on the quarterback, people view that as a sack, things like that. However, we are hearing a lot of good things about Moro Ojomo. Like, Moro Ojomo looks very, very impressive. He looks very strong, and he looks like he is really ready to step into that Milton Williams role. And I think he's not going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a very, very smooth transition with Ojomo. I really do. And I like Milton Williams a lot. I think he's good. But I really think that Jalen Carter is the big difference maker, and he really frees up the other guy to go. Also, Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis supposedly would have had a sack today, and he broke a pass up by deflecting it. Jordan Davis is getting snaps. He is playing. He's on the field. He's getting snaps, and he looks fantastic. I'm really excited about Jordan Davis because I think Jordan Davis, if he gets more snaps and he can get a little better at the pass rush, then you've got legitimately 2 first-round picks at defensive tackle. And I think that they could have the best duo at defensive tackle in the National Football League. That's not including Ojomo rotating in. That's not including Ty Robinson, rotating in. So the Eagles, defensive tackle-wise, is pretty good. But Ojomo and Jordan Davis looked very, very good. As well as Nolan Smith. He gets some pressures on there. I think Jalyx Hunt, you've heard good things about him from Jordan Mailata. So the defense is coming along really good, okay? And then you get Cooper DeJean. He's playing primarily in the slot, unless you're in base defense. Then he's been taking some snaps at safety. And the whole reason for that is like we said before. They want Cooper DeJean on the field at all times. They don't want to take him off. So they've got to figure out where to put him on base defense. You're going to see him at safety, and you might see him also at times at outside corner. Eventually, he's just going to be your Swiss Army knife. He's going to be very similar, I think, used like Malcolm Jenkins was. Wherever you need him against whatever matchup you want to go with. So really happy with him so far as well, because I think Cooper DeJean, they look at as a star, and Quinyon Mitchell as well. We heard Vic Fangio talk about the fact that he's trying to train him to be on both sides of the field. Eventually, we might even see Quinyon Mitchell be, shadowing the best receiver on other teams, which is what you want, because I think that's what he would be really good at. The Eagles are doing a great job of identifying the players' talents and what they do best, and then using it to their potential. I really like what I'm seeing. Now, as far as the offense is concerned, we got to talk about Jalen Hurts, okay? Because all the crap you hear about Hurts this, Hurts that, Hurts this, Jalen Hurts looks fantastic. I mean, Jalen Hurts is having a really, really good camp early on. He's very accurate in his throws. He's very decisive. He's got control of the offense, and he's got guys literally sound like him now in press conferences, okay? His leadership is shining through and through. Winning the Super Bowl, getting the MVP, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And he made a great pass to A.J. Brown, who made a spectacular catch over Keely Ringo, who had really good coverage, okay? He had great coverage, but the pass was even better. This has happened 3 or 4 times, okay, already. So I think Jalen Hurts, we got to talk about him having a great camp. A.J. Dillon has turned some heads with the coaches. I think it's very hard to judge a running back right now when you're not hitting. So we'll really talk about the running backs when we get the guys and get their pads on, and then we'll see what they do. The Eagles were pumping in crowd noises, trying to get, that feel for being, on the road or in a dome. So they were pumping in crowd noises. Didn't seem to give that team a problem, and it wouldn't. Definitely wouldn't. But the Eagles, right now, I think they're hitting on all cylinders. Terrace Marshall Jr. is another guy. He's getting first-team reps at wide receiver. Not because he's going to replace one of the top 2, but if, something happens to them and they go out, you have to have another guy that can play on the outside. He's proven that he can play. He's been effective. He's made some nice plays, some nice passes. And I think he's done a really good job. Overall, I would say that the defense, from what it sounded like on Saturday, really won the day. Jalyx Hunt was telling Saquon Barkley and he was telling A.J. Brown, yeah, we won the day. And they were like, all right, we'll see next week, So it is what it is. I also want to say this. Kevin Patullo did a press conference, and a lot of questions about Patullo. Is he going to be an okay offensive coordinator? Are we in trouble? Are we making a mistake by promoting him to offensive coordinator? Here's my thought. I look at Jalen Hurts as the de facto offensive coordinator at this point. He's had so many different offensive coordinators every year. If Patullo has a great year, he's going to be a head coach somewhere. So I look at Jalen Hurts as the de facto offensive coordinator. Plus, the Eagles are not asking they're not asking their receivers to run elaborate routes and figure out ways to get open and things like that. They're going to play smash mouth football for the most part. They're going to do what they did last year. You got to stop the run. Teams are going to come in. They're going to try to stop Barkley, try to force Hurts to beat him, just like the Chiefs did. The Eagles, most of the time, teams will try to stop the run. They'll put 8 men in the box, and it won't work. Okay, you look at teams like the Rams. Rams had 8 men in the box in the playoffs, and Barkley gets to that second level, he's gone. That's why you get these 50-plus yard runs. Nobody else is there after that second level. You're going to see a lot of that this year. Teams will try to do certain things, but they can't do it. And I think Patullo is going to be just fine at offensive coordinator because teams know what you're going to do. We're not trying to hide anything. It's just that you can't stop us, and that's the key to everything. Saturday morning, I will be back live for practice. Tonight, Sunday night, we're looking at a Philly Shakedown podcast. I'm assuming this video's out either late Saturday or early Sunday. So we'll see a Philly Shakedown podcast for our first one back, new season, tomorrow night, probably about 8 o'clock Eastern. Look for that. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, of course. Don't be a dingbat. And remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. Cowboys think they're going to win the playoffs. They think they're going to go to the Super Bowl doing this. Look at this. What is Dak Prescott doing? He's riding horse. Oh, let's ride horse. Oh, let's ride horse. Go ahead, ride that horsey. Ride that horsey right to another early playoff exit at most, because that riding the horse all around the field doesn't stop you from this. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.